on the line. We talked about obviously the predictions you can do within games with the Sports Center. You can predict who's going to win each match, and then obviously if you get every single one correct at the very end, you will win a portion of $150,000. And how many people actually accomplish it? So two people, and if everyone out there watching do pull it off, they'll split 150K. 75,000.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we need to get someone good on math here on the desk at some point. You guys at home as well. Maybe you're not going to win. Maybe yesterday you got one or two predictions right. It's not a big deal because all you have to worry about is any prediction you do get right, you can win a portion of the 10 million AG and the 1 million you see out there. So you might not win the money, but you still get something extra on the side.
I mean, it's great to do. You can do it from the in-game section yourself too. If you're like me, you get into a game, you die to lots, like 5 minutes to spare. Go into the in-game esports center and just go for it. Do you spend a lot of time? I do spend a lot of time in the lobby. Okay, I'm like, oh, just load out. Like my settings, probably with settings, but it is just I'm the issue at the end.
I feel like I've become a permanent spectator whenever I play. Because I die in a squad and I'm just like, good job guys, but it's a game for me.
Or you're backseat gaming. Yeah,
I
backseat
feel like
gaming.
if I'm that bad, I shouldn't show praise to anyone. So I kind of do backseat, but I kind of like spectate it, like capture
We do have an extra game.
So just for Max and 7, gonna pick up on the capture death. Moving on, ahead in the show here, we gotta remind you guys how this whole tournament's gonna work. Right? We have 7 matches today. I think it's how you play points. 50 points for a chicken dinner.
Just keep it going. But yeah, in regards to what we were saying, we saw them just absolutely start destroying and being confident, taking on fights.
Ornar Ayşe ki.
Their placement points, and to our surprise, something that we were hoping they would do yesterday, Max, before the day started, before the day ended, was that we needed them to have a higher placing, and they were able to accomplish just that on the last airing go.
I mean, one of the points you were bringing up, especially throughout yesterday, and that I fully agreed with, is like you said, we want to see them aim for position.
Yep.
They did on the final game, and that pushed them actually in top 8. I was expecting them to get top 8 potentially today. They did it yesterday on the final game, so good stuff from Alpha 7. They got to continue. They're not close to top 5 just yet, and they've got to try and contest it. But no, they're contesting with the top dogs, the likes of RRQ, Class, 4 Hungry Men, and also Navi up there. Just great to see, some more EMEA representation up there. 90 Class are going to be up there, but also Navi going to be joining up, fighting for that. As you can see on your screen, $700,000 for that #1 position.
I think if 7 ever hosted a tournament, he would make the prize pool 777,777.
Yes.
But you know what? I think once you hit that 700K point, that extra 77 grand, I wouldn't care if I lost that. I would take the 700 grand, of course, the 200 grand for first or second place, and 100 grand for third place. So it's a really steep drop off here, 7. You really want that first place for that extra 500 grand.
Yeah, I would actually want the extra 77,000. Think of all the royal passes you could buy in the game.
77 cents at the end also.
Yeah. And some extra UC as well. But yeah, a lot of the stuff that I want to see from today is teams that are currently towards the bottom. I want to see them being able to step it up right away. We don't want them to have a slow start, because if they do, something that we're going to have to worry about as we're seeing the participant teams here, and something that we're going to have to talk about, is that we do have the extra game. It is going to be in Erangel, and yesterday we saw a lot of teams being super strong in Erangel, especially with 4 Angry Men. They ended up getting 2 wins yesterday. And on top of that, we saw Navi being able to perform really well on Erangel. So something that I'm going to be looking forward to today is seeing which other teams are willing to step it up in Erangel. And one of those teams is going to be Nova XQF, because for me, they really didn't have their best performances in Erangel, Max.
Something we mentioned yesterday, I'm going to bring it up again, is when you are playing in the Chinese ecosystem, you only play Miramar and Erangel. So that's the map on which you should be the most comfortable, but they've been failing pretty hard on that one. So we are expecting a lot coming into this one from Nova XQF. We've got the leaderboards on screen now, of course, DA, Hungry Men, Navi, RRQ from 1st to 4th position respectively, off to a really, really good start yesterday. But one team that I'm actually surprised to see really low, seeing how good they were playing yesterday, was actually Airwolf Limax. I was really happy with their IGLing. I think Hazelnuts has been doing great work. He heavily improved from the league stage now going into the finals, but even though they're aiming along position, they're like the complete opposite of Alpha 7. They go for position, but because they don't take fights, they get denied super easily. So I think that here, Airwolf, I want to see a little bit more sparks, go for fights, take the fights aggressively, and if they do so, they can fight for position also, and potentially get a few wins, or at least a few top 3s. I think that's what Airwolf are currently lacking. If they work on that today, we might see them get close to top 8, even potentially, just like Alpha 7 yesterday, make it top 8.
Yeah, and if they do get into those fighting situations, I want to continue to see the pressure that we saw from them yesterday. I thought it works out so well. We saw them in an engagement actually towards the end of a match between A1 Esports, and they were able to actually beat them by just being able to provide so much pressure to that team. One team that I am surprised to see here, and it's kind of pleasantly surprised, Team Secret in 5th place. It's one of those teams that started super slow yesterday in the first 2 matches, and after that it completely changed after Matt Toy was able to get that amazing jump shot on, I believe it was Footballers. So I want to see them continue to pretty much continue the momentum. And one I know you like talking about, Max, is going to be RQ Athena. Great placement right there in 4th place, something you love to see, especially if you want to be one of those teams that is going to be striking towards 1st place. You want to maintain yourself within that top 5.
Yeah, I mean, this time around they might just become not the bridesmaid, but just the bride this time around. That's what we're going to be hoping for RQ Athena this time around. And also Bigatron is normally the team that's always just barely ahead of them. Bigatron just nowhere to be seen, and I was talking about this with you, Seven, at the start of the show before we actually kicked off the event today. The 2 winners of PMWL Season 0, both East and West, are currently in the 16th and 15th position respectively. And that's a big surprise. We have like a big shift in like power balance so far. And yeah, PMWL East winners and also West winners are just not showing up on the first day, unfortunately.
And another team we're going to have to talk about here that we talked about so many times during league phase is Class Digital Athletics. This team, consistent as ever, probably one of the most consistent teams taking a page out of Footballers' books in previous tournaments to get high placings, to get good kills. But one thing that was always lacking, Max, was their chicken dinners, was closing out matches. And we already see in the very first day of play here, they have gotten themselves 1 victory, 1 chicken dinner. I think that's the very first day of play here. They have gotten themselves 1 victory, 1 chicken dinner. I think that's a phenomenal sign and a true testament to how much Class Digital Athletics has been improving ever since PMCO.
I mean, no, just really talking about consistency, they got 4 4th positions yesterday out of 4 games, like 4 top 4s, should I say. And the 2 other games where they didn't get a top 4, they were still 6th position, which is still like a decent influx of points coming your way every single time. And DL are just in a position